Hey, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to VA Fridays. Today, I want to talk about how to address some of these high payment concerns and ways to kind of talk to buyers about looking in the future and not so much looking at right now. But before we get right into it, do a quick dad joke for you. So, why did the bald guy get tattoos of rabbits on his head? Because from a distance, they look like hares. Hares. Get it? Pew! All right. So getting right into it. So nowadays it's really tough. It's really scary for a lot of buyers going into the marketplace with home prices being kind of high and rates being where they're at. Now we all know the everyone's been saying, even myself, and it's my strategy that I'm also following is that rates are expected to get better. And the reason why that's important is to note, and also a reason is that mortgage rates at its core will follow inflation at some point. It takes a bit, but it will follow inflation. It's a bit of a lag. So maybe 6 to 8 month lag before we start seeing rates actually start following inflation. So it takes some time. So with them knowing that their mortgage payment's going to be high, purchase prices are going to be high, whatever it is, how can you address those concerns depending on what's comfortable within their range of wanting to go for a house? So typically with what's the most immediate answer is that for active duty clients and anyone getting some kind of a pay from the government, whether it's VA disability, Social Security disability income, Social Security income, pension income, anything like that, typically there is going to be some kind of a raise in that area and they would know that by December. So for active duty military clients, they typically get a housing allowance raise at the end of every year. Usually this is about $100 to $200 on average for all the ranks. Obviously, the higher the rank, the more money you make. I wouldn't advise them to get married or have a dependent because that does increase their BAH, because having a dependent will increase your BAH for the rank that you're in, but not usually the best course of action. The other option is that if they're going to get to the next rank soon, will also increase their BAH. So two things we can talk to them about. Are you getting to the next rank soon? Or if we're getting close to near the end of the year, your BAH will go up. So that will kind of help offset the high costs for at least a little while. Now, for those who are not active duty out of the military, a lot of the VA buyers have some kind of a disability VA income. So they have that. That also goes up every year, usually around 3 to 5% a year, depending on your VA rating. Also, another thing to look at is they can actually increase their VA disability rating. So some can go from 30 to 80%, 50 to 100. I have a bunch of buddies who are actually looking into that process right now. I'm going to look into that process myself just to see if I can get some more money. So why not? But this is non-taxable income that they can actually get to help offset the higher cost of the mortgage payment, to help offset that. That's the other thing that they can look forward to as far as their income goes. Now, the other piece is rates, right? So with that in mind, how do we determine that rates are going to go down, and how low are they expected to get? And that's another number that we have to look at. We can't just assume that when we have them buy a house now, the rate's going to go to whatever they believe their payment's going to go under, or going to go down to their budget. So we really have to prepare for, like, let's say rates hit the low fives, high fours in 2024. I would say that's a pretty conservative number. If anything, if they don't buy their rate down or anything like that, I would say 5.25 is a good number to prepare them for. And they can also look to buy their rate down even lower than that within a refinance. Now, with that refinance, typically that type of refinance, called the VA Streamline, doesn't have any out-of-pocket costs. Usually the cost to do the refinance is within the loan, so that if they do end up paying their own closing costs, or they got their closing costs paid for, whatever, when they refinance, it's not going to typically cost them anything to get a better rate. So that's something that they can prepare for down the line, between higher pays and the rates coming down because of the upcoming recession that we're expected to see. And since inflation is staying lower and lower, rates will typically match, or at least come down closer to inflation levels. So those are a couple of things that you can use today as part of your pitch, as part of your speech, in order to help buyers understand that the environment we're in now, it's not going to last forever. So especially with income being higher, mortgage rates being lower. So those are the two, I would say, two biggest aspects of talking to a client that may be scared of what's going with the mortgage payment, because it is a scary time. We're getting to a point where home prices are not going to come down. There's not going to be a housing market crash. Those who are waiting for a housing market crash are going to be very, very disappointed, I believe, are going to be very disappointed in regards to why. A lot of them don't know why there's a housing market crash. They're just listening to the media. So use your expertise in regards to the real estate market. Everyone knows that we're in a low inventory situation, and it's only going to get worse. So anyway, hopefully those tips help. Feel free to shoot me a comment if there's any objections that you've heard. I'd love to help out any way I can and grow your business. Anyway.